Shivaya Namaha. Generally, we consider Ramayana is one of the epic poem of Hinduism. In the Ramayana, it is one of the story of Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, etc. But most of us not known that Ramayana is an essence of all Shastras, a mixture of all Shastras. Whatever you want, you can extract from Ramayana. For example, if you want to have family life system, we can extract from Ramayana, that is known to everyone. But today's topic is for business management people, especially managerial systems are proved in Ramayana. How? Let us see. That is a very interesting topic for the upcoming generations. They should know compulsory. Ramayana is not an ordinary one. Valmiki wrote with foresight, with Divyadrishti of the future generations till the end of this destruction of the earth. Let us see what is it prayer. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulya Ramanama Varanane. In this Ramayana, first we can start the corporate lessons. Those who are doing corporate shift, they can learn it. Those who are upcoming leaders, they can learn this topic of Ramayana and modify their lifestyle. The Ramayana is one of the greatest epic of Hindu mythology. It is not just a story, but also an educational medium used by the ancient sages to espouse the importance of doing your dharma, I mean duty-mindedness. Lessons from Ramayana are a part of teaching leadership, management and governance at many prestigious management institutions. Note it down particularly. Here are a few lessons that we can comprehend from Ramayana and how can we learn or how can they be applied in the corporate world. Present world is purely dependent on the corporate sector. How can we overcome them? These remedies we can get from Ramayana when we extract water from like water from well. See, team motivation is vital. One of the most obvious incidents in which use management principles is very closely or clearly visible at that of the character of Hanuman, who is going to Lanka. His mission was to locate Sita there and give her Lord Rama's message. When it became clear that Sita was in Lanka, Jambavan asked Hanuman to go there. He helped him in releasing his true potential and motivated him to go to the enemy's camp. Jambavan motivating Hanuman is a classical example of a good manager, helping his personnel to realize their potential and acting accordingly. Once mentally prepared for the job, first thing which Hanuman did after reaching Lanka was to do a complete analysis of the situation. He did a complete study about the Lankans, assessing their strengths and weaknesses, the various threats and opportunities which he had in the enemy's camp. And the SWOT analysis lesson. It's very most important. Those who are studying MBA or anything, business management. SWOT means SWOT. S means strength, W means weakness, O for opportunity, T for threats. This is called SWOT theory. Let us see that in Ramayana. The SWOT means strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. Analysis is one of the most important aspects of modern day management. First, you need to ascertain the goals or job to be done. Then get mentally prepared for it and have a right plan. And then analyze the strengths and weaknesses of the competitor and what threats and opportunities are there in the business. That is SWOT theory. Okay, now work on strategic alliances. How it is. In Ramayana, Sugriva has shown some of the best managerial characteristics. As a successful manager, he had Rama to work accordingly and got his kingdom back from a brother who was far mightier than him. Using his managerial skills, he even had Angada to work for him. If Sugriva would have been a bad manager, then the same Angada would have turned into one of his arch enemies. A manager who can nurture good qualities, good relations with the employers or clients, etc., can do wonders for his company. Lord Rama was very good at it because he was the master of nurturing relations. His prowess, as it was so great that while Ravana was lying wounded in the battlefield and was about to die, he shared some important lessons which he had learnt in his life. Value your subordinates, another theory. In the same Ramayana, again and again, Ravana has shown the signs of a bad manager and hence led to the demise of his kingdom. From the starting itself, from the beginning itself, he ignored the suggestions of his managers like Vibhishana, etc., and got his kingdom in the state of war with Rama. Leads create more leaders. Leaders can create more leaders. How? After discovery of Sita's whereabouts, Hanuman, of his own volition, set a flame the city of Lanka. Hanuman's decision of burning Lanka displeased Rama. See? And also after Hanuman stopped taking decisions. To rectify the damage done, Rama had to summon himself from the sense so that Hanuman could discover his decision-making abilities. During the time of war, Mahiravan managed to abduct both Rama and Lakshman and take them to Patala Loka, underworld, netherworld we can say in English. Only Hanuman had the intellectual and physical prowess to rescue them, and eventually Hanuman succeeded in rescuing Rama. Rama had thus created a leader like Hanuman. Rama himself a leader, Sugriva himself a leader, Jambavan himself a leader. All the three created leaders like Hanuman, Angada, Vibhishana, etc. See, what a business tactics. Managerial skills. No one is bigger than the brand. See, the most important. What is the value of brand? There is no individuality. Though there is maybe, whosoever it may be. See, the challenge in building the bridge to Lanka was to make the stones float. It is said that a solution was offered by supporters of Rama. For example, inscribe the name Rama on the stone and throw it in the ocean. The same was done, it worked. At one time, Lord Rama decided to extend a helping hand, so he also picked up a stone and threw it in the ocean. Unfortunately, it sank without a trace. The stone sank because it was not inscribed with Rama. Lord Rama was confident that he do not need to use his brand, as he was himself a brand, and tried to repeat the magic. But it did not work. It was not branded with Rama. Moral of the story tells us brand is bigger than the owner of the brand. A manager should feel good when people recognize him by the name of his company, not an individual. Believe in your team. The Rakshasa army was a powerful one, which had defeated the formidable Devas and vanquished powerful kings. In contrast, the army of Rama comprised of soldiers who were perhaps aboriginal tribes who had never encountered a sophisticated army before. Yet Rama maintained confidence in the ability of his army to surmount this seemingly impossible odds, and enthused by his confidence, his army fought to achieve the victory. Elevation planning is the most important one of success. Dasharatha's plans for installing Rama on the throne of Ayodhya do turn upset, but the existence of a clear succession plan can never be denied. This is meant to ensure continuity in governance. It helped that besides being the eldest son, Rama was liked by all and hence chosen to lead the kingdom once his father passed away. As per Raghuvamsa of Kalidasa, when the time comes to relinquish his body, Rama divides it equitably between his two sons of Lava and Kusha. All well-managed companies ensure that the career development plans of their top performers are directly linked to succession plans. Good leaders should invariably groom the managers under them. Now, leave the comfort zone. When Rama gets ordered to remain in the forest for a span of 14 years, Sita and Rama take it as an opportunity to engage with the ordinary citizens of their kingdom, rather than remaining confined to comforts of their palace. This helps them to understand the ground relatives better. Excellence in execution. The plan to locate Sita gets brilliantly executed by Hanuman. The wisdom with which he conducts the search and single-minded pursuit of the goal is an example with emulating by managers at all levels. While crossing the sea, he declines an invitation from Mount Mainaka to take some rest on the way. The manner in which Hanuman assures Sita of his genuineness exhorts managers to conduct commercial negotiation by first setting the anxieties of the opposite party. The anxiety of the opposite party at rest. Always stick to the plan. Another thing. When Rama killed the demon Maricha, who came disguised as a golden deer, the demon called out Lakshmana, Sita in Rama's mimicked voice and died. Sita, upon hearing it, urged Lakshmana, who was standing to guard her, to go and help Rama, who seemed to be in trouble. Lakshmana's patient counseling against it could not convince her. She accused Lakshmana of nurturing an evil idea of having an illicit relationship with her in the absence of Rama. Lakshmana, shocked by hearing such an abominable accusation, left immediately, leaving her alone. Ravana utilized this chance to abduct, kidnap her. Maintain court during crisis. Maintaining cool-mindedness. Following Sita's abduction, Rama wandered destitute and penniless in the forest searching for Sita. The Ramayana is full of poignant details of Rama's sadness and his memory of Sita. Yet this grief did not prevent him from searching for Alice even when the enemy was unknown. Even throughout the battle with Rama, Rama maintained his courage even at the darkest hours, and in doing so inspired his army to not only continue the unequal fight but also win it. Another theme. Empower subordinates. How can empower? When Vibhishana defected, Rama took him under his protection. He then had a talk with the various army chiefs. some of whom disagree with Rama. Instead of punishing them, Rama assured their suspicions and got them to accept his decision. Everybody felt that their opinions had been heard and that their objections had been clarified. Empowerment of subordinates to question on his decisions was a key and unique quality of Rama, which one cannot but help comparing with Ravana, who never allowed anyone to contradict him. Motivated by the words of Jambavan, Hanuman grew mountainside and declared, crossing the sea, I shall reduce Lanka into ashes. Destroying Ravana with all his tribe, I shall bring Mata Sita. Hearing these words of Hanuman, Jambavan said, now finding the whereabouts of Sita, whether she is alive or not, you should return. Ram, afterwards, accompanied by Rama, you can go to Lanka and demonstrate your strengths, not now. Job description, another topic. The importance of job description is learned from this narration. We see Hanuman willing to do more than he is asked to. He is willing to kill Ravana and bring back Mata Sita in his first visit itself. Here, Jambavan brings forth an essential tool of management and specifies his job description by repeating that Hanuman has to only find the whereabouts of Mata Sita in this first visit. The concept of Fuchs theory can be seen in this narration. Proportionate boasting up of a person and a check of overconfidence becomes an integral part of management. Jambavan's very good manager, realizing that Hanuman had forgotten his proverbs, reminded him of them by narrating Hanuman of his great deeds of past, as to how he had jumped towards the sun up to 500 kilometers, that he was capable of achieving great results. This instilled in Hanuman self-confidence and motivation to jump towards Lanka. How to stay motivated? Another thing. After seeing Ravana and Mandodari asleep, Hanuman realized that he had searched the entire place, most of Lanka, and had found Sita. His spirit was dampened like a campfire drenched by an evening drizzle. A depressed mind is an easy target for unwanted thoughts. He wondered if Ravana had killed Sita as he was not yielding. That meant that he failed in his mission and that he would not be able to face his friends waiting across the ocean. Hanuman also knew that if he failed to find Sita, he would face wrath of, angry of his king Sugriva. In fact, he may punish Hanuman and his team for the failure. His team may also lose heart if he returned without the information of Sita. The Ramayana is not just a story, but also an educational medium to demonstrate the importance of values such as loving and respecting your family, keeping your promise, practicing or protecting the weak, and so on. Use the magnum opus of Hindu mythology, the Ramayana, as a medium of teaching your child about values and ethics here. You can teach values and ethics to your child by way of storytelling. The Ramayana and Mahabharata especially preach a lot of values that we want our children to imbibe. Not for nothing, or the most commonly taught epics since ancient times. Instead of simply commanding your child to respect his elders, you can use examples from his favorite epics to teach him the same. Just I was wondering if he should search a palace again, he saw a small grove of Ashoka tree in a corner. He entered the grove and jumped from tree to tree. The grove was filled with melodious bird calls. There were beautiful ponds and golden throne inside. This was a place that would attract the nature-loving Sita. He thought to himself and starting combing the grove for her presence. Now another important theme is sibling relationship. How should be? How should we maintain siblings mean? Brothers and sisters. If your child has any siblings, focus on the love the brothers had for each other. Why did Lakshmana, who was used to all the worldly luxuries, due to the prince, decided to give all that up voluntarily to live with the elder brother for 14 years of hardship in the forest? Because he loved his elder brother and could not bear the thought of having to live for 14 years in his absence. You can also teach your child the importance of standing up for his siblings with the example of Shurpanakha. When Surpanakha was insulted by Lakshmana, her brothers Khara and Dushan rushed to avenge her, not caring of the fact that it could lead to their death. When Rama and Lakshmana did indeed vanquish her brothers, Surpanakha sought her other brother Ravana's aid, Ravana's help, setting the wheels for the grand battle between Rama and Ravana, good and evil, into motion. In today's materialistic world, where disputes between siblings are commonplace, stories like these need to be extolled and repeated time and again. Parents need to encourage their children to not only spend time with their siblings, but also stand up for each other and be there for each other when required. Such a deep affection can be cultivated only when parents encourage such growth and keep emphasizing the importance of love amongst the siblings. Now, differentiating between right and wrong. It's one of the more major act. You can teach your child to choose right over wrong when wrong may feel more right by giving him the example of Bharata, who was awarded the honor of ruling the mighty kingdom of Ayodhya. Bharata could have just accepted the throne and absolute power and luxury that came with it, but his sense of right and wrong would not permit him to do what most others would greedily do nowadays. Instead, upon learning that his mother Kaikeyi had unjustly managed to get Rama banished from Ayodhya, he immediately went into the forest to look for Rama and offer him his rightful position as a ruler of Ayodhya. So great was his devotion to his brother, and so strong was his desire to be fair and just, that when Rama refused to return to Ayodhya before completing his 14 years in exile, Bharata placed Rama's footwear on the throne and ruled Ayodhya in the name of Rama as Rama's emissary until he returned to regain his rightful position. This teaches your child that even if something is extremely desirable, he should only accept it, and if it's attained in a just manner without hurting or affecting anyone else in an unfair and unjust manner. Now, another, the value of promise. Dasaratha had granted Kaikeyi 2 boons when she had saved his life on the battlefield once for a long time. The day before Dasaratha was to retire and crown his eldest son Rama as a king, Kaikeyi demanded that Dasaratha grant her the boon she desired as promised. Her first desire was that Rama should be exiled to the forest for 14 years and the second, that our son Bharata be crowned king in his place. Dasharatha was naturally heartbroken at the prospect of having to send his son to exile for 14 years, but for this noble-hearted clan, honoring one's word is the highest duty. Even when Dasharatha began to falter at the prospect of actuality, following through on his promises, due to his love for his firstborn, and pleaded with Rama not to leave. Rama reminded his father of the value of a promise given and left Ayodhya to keep his father's word. When Bharata begged Rama to return to Ayodhya, Rama once again reminded Bharata that he could not and would not dishonor his father by breaking the promise he had made to Kaikeyi. If Rama, a prince who had been brought up in the lap of luxury and who stood to gain a position of absolute power and luxury, if he disregarded his father's promise, willingly chose to live a life of exile and hardship for 14 years in a forest, what does it teach our children? It teaches them not to tarnish the value of their promise for small and unimportant things like eating their veggies or finishing their homework and so on. Now, love and respect for parents. Rama's insistence on keeping the promise made by his father also shows the deep love and devotion that he had for his parents. He willingly chose to spend 14 years in exile in a forest to protect his father's much respect honor. Such was the regard he paid to his father. Dasharatha too loved his child so deeply that when Rama left for the forest, Dasharatha could not bear the thought of being away from his son for 14 years and left his last breath and died. Another, we can get last benefit from Ramayana is beware of bad counsel. Kaikeyi was fundamentally a good nurtured woman or a natured woman, but was convinced to send Rama into exile and insist on her son Bharata being crowned king by the venomous counsel of her maid servant, whom she considered loyal and wise. Manthara's vicious scheming not only poisoned Kaikeyi's mind into demanding those two apparelling boons, but also ruined her life. She lost her beloved husband to heartbreak and her son Bharata, for whom she asked for those very boons, and chastised her for dreadful behavior. This is a very important lesson for your children. It teaches them to stay on guard against vicious counsel, poisonous thoughts. It teaches to be vigilant in order to avoid being scammed. It teaches them to be firm of mind and not then let their minds get swayed easily by people. Thus Ramayana will enrich their lives and help you mold your children to be the leaders of tomorrow with strong cultural and traditional influences. So, when we come to listen this video, first of all, as an elderly person, we can understand the essence of the theme. Later, we can impart to our children. Unless we are not strong with what said by Valmiki, how can we initiate our children for the future generations? So, let us watch this TV or watch this video and understand thoroughly the each and every aspect of the theme and make your children to get their lives to be succeeded in all the aspects. Now I think you might have understand it is not only for managerial skills to the corporate companies. It is one of the good adopted good skills even to maintain the family into peace. Even our children come to flourish in their life with various flying colors to brightening their future and respecting the elders and society and their subordinates. Every theme you can extract and make the children to extract. श्रीकांताय कल्याण नरे नरेन्द्रां श्री वेंकटनिवासाय श्रीनिवासाय मंगलम मंगलाशासन परे नमदाचार्य पुरोगमये सर्वेश पूर्वैराचार्यै सत्कृतायास्तु मंगलम्.